Everybody, BlackNinja797 here, and welcome to the Q&A video. I do apologize for how long this took, because life just was life and got in the way, but now I finally have the time, and I'm more than happy to do the Q&A video. So I've got plenty of questions from you guys from both YouTube and Discord, and I'm going to answer every single one for you here today. I'm very much looking forward to what you guys have submitted in, so let's check out what you guys asked. How many hours do you have in the game, and can you play solo campaigns? I'm assuming you're asking about hours for Left 4 Dead specifically, so I will tell you about Left 4 Dead specifically. Relative to my Steam copy, which has only been played by me, I have 844 hours and 46 minutes, and that's basically ever since I had the game back in 2020 on PC. Xbox-wise specifically, unfortunately, this specific account doesn't have nearly as much playtime as the account that I used to share with my brother. This one only shows 27 hours and 12 minutes. But I promise you, it was easily like 300 hours. So probably collectively altogether over both PC and Xbox, probably over 1,000 hours on Left 4 Dead. Will you add more myths in Myth-Busting Mondays videos? Yes and no. I don't intend to do it every single episode, but for special occasions, of course I will. I have done them before occasionally for like a Christmas episode or a Halloween episode, or also like a mid-season or like a season finale with episodes 50 and 100. I mean, hell, sometimes I've just done it at random when I just felt like it. The main reason, though, why I initially decided to settle with 5 is because of how long sometimes these myths can take. So for those of you guys that don't know, it takes me 2 days to get Myth-Busting Mondays done. I have to record on one day, and that's just recording, and then I have another day, which is the editing and posting. And I do that every single week. So whenever I record Myth-Busting Mondays, 5 myths takes a while, surprisingly. In my normal given day, I have some other hobbies that I like to do, and some of them are also work-related. So like, for example, I have to go to my main job, I have to take care of myself and like work out, I like to go to the gym, I also have to do house chores, sometimes I also just want to game for funsies, and I've never really had necessarily a lot of people ask for more myths, so I really didn't think it was all too necessary. Originally, when I started Myth-Busting Mondays, I did have the intention to have it be 10 myths straight off the rip, and the thing was, though, is that back then, nobody knew what that series was, so I was just making up all the myths on my own, and I didn't have enough, I guess, creativity to think of 10 myths every single week on my own. And so 5 was what I was used to because I was making all the myths up until, like, I want to say, like, episode 40, and it started to gain traction. You guys were submitting them in, and I used your guys' myths. And even then, sometimes there is weeks where I don't have enough myths that are in an episode that are either A, not used before in a prior episode, because we have so many episodes now, there's bound to be repeats, or a myth that might just not necessarily just work for an episode. It might be too simple, it doesn't make sense, the myth can only be done via a convoluted way, it's just honest to God not worth doing. Like, I've had some myths that have taken literally all day to do, and by then they're not even necessarily like that good. Like versus myths specifically, you can't use mods like how we use our admin menu, and to just get the RNG to get everything lined up is just sometimes just not worth it in the end. So 5 is ultimately what we have settled on, and that's just for the basic episodes. I think the answer you're looking for, unfortunately, is a no. But I will say that it will happen sometimes. I do have the full intention to do more, but it will just be for special occasions. Can you possibly make live streams once a week where you play with viewers? If you're asking about Left 4 Dead, and if you're also asking about certain games, once again, just like the last question, yes and no. It really just depends on, like, what we can agree upon, because I have offered to play with my subscribers before, and then sometimes it will just fall through and, like, you know, the time won't line up. Like, I'll say, like, hey guys, I'll be live streaming from when to when, and sometimes for time zones or people's lives, they can't show up, and then sometimes it just ends up making it where it's like, it's just me again. There also has been times where there's been plenty of you guys, so it's really just a scheduling conflict. I've noticed that the best times I can get you guys is on the weekends during, like, the mid-afternoon or, like, the early evening. It's just that I work weekends. So what happens is that I end up going to work usually around peak time when everyone is good. So I can't really do that anymore. I used to do it plenty during COVID, but I haven't had the free time since COVID. Eventually, when I get my first full-time job, which will most likely just be a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and I get my weekends back, maybe. But the meantime, I can't, though. So I feel like as live streams are concerned, it's mostly just going to be campaign single-player games from now on. at least until I can get the free time to play with you guys, because I don't want to half-ass and make it be like less than like a few hours. It would have to be a lot. Then I also feel like it would be more than just Left 4 Dead. I feel like it'd be like other games too, because I've done things for like Minecraft and Jackbox and even Fall Guys. What will you be doing if you never started YouTube and Left 4 Dead? To answer this question, it probably would just end up being more YouTube, because other than sometimes losing motivation, I have always enjoyed this just as a side hobby of mine, because YouTube is never about the money. The money is nice. I mean, I do end up enjoying the money, and I would like to be able to make this my living so that way I don't have to work a normal, traditional 9 to 5. Here's the thing, though, is that I just enjoy doing YouTube for the sake of video creation and just expressing my thoughts, feelings, and my mind. Because with YouTube, I get a outlet to be able to reach people like you guys and just share my thoughts with the world. Because not everybody I meet in real life is going to share my same opinions, and I can kind of customize it with the help of the YouTube algorithm, because then YouTube's algorithm will attract you guys to me easier than if I were to just like wing it and just ask random people about what other hobbies that they like. But I would say that if it were YouTube specific, that I would probably just do whatever I want. I mean, it probably wouldn't be Left 4 Dead, it'd just be whatever other thing I'm playing at the moment. Kind of like how on this Extras channel, I'm just kind of winging it and doing whatever it is that I'm in the mood for. Like, imagine the Extras channel would just be my main channel right now if I wasn't doing Left 4 Dead. That's literally what it would be. My main channel would be like my second channel right now. Goal-wise, do you have a numerical goal concerning YouTube, or perhaps a full career or a state of mind? I really like this question because this gives me a lot to work with. So, goal-wise for YouTube, I've always had the goal, always, to have at least one video hit 1 million views and have a channel that has 1 million subscribers. I have always strived for that goal. I'm always going to try to strive for that goal, because a YouTube video that hits 1 million in my mind is considered like a viral video, and I've always wanted to have that since I was a little kid. I have had a couple of videos that have gotten somewhat close. I've had 2 with 100,000, and I think I got a YouTube short that's like 85,000. Not even remotely close to 1 million, but it's a lot better than what I used to have, which was like, you know, a few dozen views back like 10 years ago. So I'm getting there over time. Likes, I've never really necessarily been concerned about likes as much as the views, because more times than not, any normal viewer of a YouTube video will always watch a video, and then like commenting and liking are like not as important to them. I would say views are probably the most important, because everyone will watch your video if it's interesting enough. And then I would say like likes are the second most, because most people will like after viewing. And then I would say comments are kind of like the hardest one to get out of people. But comments are like likes to me, where in my opinion, I would say a positive comment is the same equivalent as somebody hitting the like button. They both make me still feel the same way. So I always like those, but views are most important to me, because if nobody watches the video, the likes and the comments don't matter. You're not going to get comments or likes without views. So views are my main thing to me. And I would like to presume that if somebody is able to add to that view count, they must have watched a decent portion of it, because I think like the percentage for YouTube wise, like YouTube doesn't count something as a view unless you watch at least like I think like 10% or like 5% of whatever the video is offering. Subscriber wise, the main reason why I won 1 million subscribers is because, like I said, in my mind that's considered like viral. I feel like you would be semi-YouTube famous by then. Because even though you wouldn't be like, you know, out in the streets getting recognized necessarily like an actual celebrity YouTube, it's different. We're kind of like a little bit lower on the totem pole. You would have a couple people know you in your little niche community. You would still have the privacy of like a normal person in life, but you would still have a lot of people that would know you and a lot of people that would get along with you. And I think that that's the sweet spot. It's like have enough YouTube subscribers that somebody can be like, oh, hey, that's John occasionally, or hey, that's Ninja occasionally, but I still have my normal life and I don't got like someone stalking outside my house. Plus also it'd be nice to have that YouTube play button one day, because 100,000 subscribers, you get the silver one, which is nice, and I really do also want that one day. But 1 million with the gold one, I don't know why, but just 1 million just sounds like a really nice number to hit, especially because your channel will just say 1 mil and it just looks nice. So that's the goal one day. But also, in addition to hitting like certain numbers and numerical milestones, I want this to eventually be my full-time job, whether it be mostly based off of the ads or sponsorships or merchandise or Twitch on the side or Patreon or just whatever. I want to do internet-based stuff as my main source of living. Primarily YouTube, but just basically internet stuff. So whether it be my Twitch combined with my YouTube and Patreon and sponsors on the side, because that's usually how YouTube works, is that it's not just AdSense, it's everything combined. I want this to be how I live my life. I want to be able to be paid to talk to you guys, to make videos for you, to document my life, to express my thoughts and desires. Basically what anybody else would want. That I want to be my own boss. And that's always been a goal I've strived for, and I bust my ass to get there, because the thing is that I've noticed over the last, like, 4 years compared to all the 10 other prior years I've done with YouTube, like, YouTube, if you want to be a job, you gotta treat it like a job, and then that takes a lot of fucking discipline. Like, because when I did YouTube for the first 10 years before COVID, I did it kind of casually, like this second channel. I made the second channel on purpose so I could kind of get that freedom and leniency like I used to have with my old channel, because I'm not going to get that back with my main channel if I want that to be my main source of income and my job. That it just doesn't work, unfortunately, that way. I want to have this channel so I can post whatever I want and be able to have more of a relaxed nature and creativity like I used to again. And then I want my main channel to be the one where it's like, hey, I have like my professional videos, and like that's the ones that like allow me to be able to keep like the lights on, the food on the table. So I would say that as long as I can live my current life, I don't need a crazy life, I don't need a Bugatti, and I don't need a mansion, but if I can have my current life, of course with the extra other stuff, like, you know, like let's say my medical insurance, because unfortunately YouTube doesn't have medical insurance, I'd have to have enough to pay that out of pocket. But if I can be able to meet all my needs, like medical-wise and house-wise and bill-wise, and also occasionally, you know, do my other hobbies like buy a game every now and again, make, you know, YouTube videos with new equipment, I'll be good. Why do you make videos? This is probably my favorite question, because this kind of gives you guys like a look into my life and my history. I started YouTube back in 2010. The original inspiration came from one specific YouTuber I watched called CA-Cox97. He used to make videos about Nerf guns, which was my hobby when I was a 10-year-old kid. That YouTuber specifically inspired me to make YouTube videos myself, because YouTube back then, or at least the way he made videos back then, were just so fun to me. It wasn't about the money, and it wasn't about, like, getting views at the time. He just kind of uploaded whatever he wanted to do and, like, documented his life. And I wanted to document my life, because I kind of grew up with the internet. I mean, when I was, like, a little bit younger, like, I didn't have the internet growing up. I still played with, like, action figures, and I didn't have a smartphone until I was, like, you know, a teenager, like 13. So I grew up with the internet and saw it like become what it is today. YouTube existed like only in 2005, like when I was 5 years old to me. And I saw it like with the old school layout. Like I remember like video responses, and like the like button was a 5-star button, and you had to rank things like from 1 to 5 stars. I remember where like the YouTube just layout of a channel was just completely and utterly different. And it was just a different time back then. It was more casual. YouTube back in the day almost felt like video formatted Facebook, where it was like you document all your like life stuff and maybe occasionally like a guide here or there, but it was mostly just about like vlogs, and like people would like say like, hey YouTube, like you would address YouTube themselves. Like nobody really had like a following back then. Like the biggest channels back in the day were like Smosh and maybe PewDiePie if you want to go like a little bit later, like to the early like 2010s. But like it wasn't like, you know, Mr. Beast and PewDiePie where you get hundreds of millions of subscribers on certain channels and like viral videos like crazy. It was just kind of everyone doing what they did, and I wanted to document my life, the highlights, the limelights, even like just say how I felt and thought, and like I grew up with YouTube. Some videos are not public on the channel anymore unless you watch like weird re-uploads where I'm like reacting to old videos, but my channel has documented a good portion of my entire life. From the moment I was 10 to now when I'm about to be 25, all that is on YouTube. Is my entire majority of my kid, teenage, and early adult life is on this singular channel. And God forbid if I ever lost the password or I lost the videos or it got hacked, because I would be so devastated, because I have more stuff on my YouTube channel than any other social media of mine. I can look back at old videos where they weren't even about the views. It was just like certain specific memories with my friends or by myself, or just my thoughts back then. It's just crazy to see how I change as a person and my belief system, and seeing me go from a kid with no responsibilities to an adult who is making this in his career, slowly but surely. It's just fun to me to like look back on certain memories, and I get the chance to relive my life, because sure, you can find a Facebook post that has like a photo and you can remember it, but a YouTube video, you can re-experience it. You can see it, like you can remember it in real time, and you see the POV of eyes that were only there at that time that you thought you couldn't get back. And it was just, I do YouTube equally just as much about documenting my entire life as much as it is about making this my job. Because I've gone from making Nerf videos to vlogs to skit videos to gaming videos to every video under the sun in this entire span of these YouTube years that I've been here. I've been on YouTube for almost 15 years, and I have made every video possible under the sun. And I'm probably going to continue to do that until the day I die. Because YouTube is not a hobby that I feel like I necessarily want to ever quit. I mean, I might do it casually more over time. I think I could see myself doing a PewDiePie eventually, where it's like, I'm never going to necessarily like full on retire or quit like MatPat or Game Theory, but I'll just upload like very, very rarely and like just occasionally for funsies. That's why I make YouTube videos, and that's kind of why I make content in general. Will you be doing Myth-Busting Mondays for Call of Duty Black Ops 6? Probably not, because what happened was that COD just didn't do well in comparison to Left 4 Dead. I tried to make it work. I tried to make plenty of like COD-themed videos that worked for my Left 4 Dead series, but it just wasn't the same. I primarily have a certain type of audience, and the overlap with COD wasn't necessarily as much as I had thought. I would if I had the extra help. I unfortunately don't have, though, the manpower to make Myth-Busting Mondays for 2 separate games. Do you still play Left 4 Dead 2 on Xbox? I don't really play Xbox like at all anymore, man. Like, Xbox was my main thing for years of my life. And now I don't like play it like at all anymore. I pretty much moved on to PC only. I will occasionally play my Xbox, but I won't play Left 4 Dead Xbox. I will only play it on Steam because Steam has the ability to run mods. I can be able to make videos easier, and it's just the platform I'm kind of used to at this point. Like, feeling the Xbox copy of Left 4 Dead just is weird at this point. Like, the controller and the graphics and the way it runs, it just doesn't work anymore for me. So you could call me a PC snob, but I've just moved on. What is your ideal version for a Left 4 Dead 3? Honestly, a Left 4 Dead 3, to me, that would be the best, would just be like Left 4 Dead 2, mechanic-wise, with just a few added touches. So maybe like add a few more grenades, add maybe a couple more like medkit or defib alternatives. Same thing like adding like instead of an adrenaline shot or pills, maybe you can add like band-aids or something. Adding up obviously more guns, changing the characters so that way you can have 4 new distinct characters, and also brand new maps and game modes. I don't really need to have like any crazy like things like a battle pass or a road map or individual skins or supply drops or skill-based matchmaking or over-the-top mainstream marketing or making it into an esport or trying to make the game trendy and fit for everybody and like molding it accordingly, and then like it ultimately ends up pleasing nobody. Because that's kind of what happened to Back 4 Blood. Back 4 Blood tried to be a game for everybody, and it ended up being a game for a very niche amount of people. Like, I really am only one of the few people I can think of that still plays Back 4 Blood. I will play Back 4 Blood because I enjoy it, I enjoy what they tried to do, and even at the worst, Back 4 Blood is still a fun, spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead in my opinion, but for a good majority of people, it is not even close. I think the best way that Left 4 Dead could continue from the second game is just do the exact same thing, but just make more of it. Like, make more maps that feel like Left 4 Dead 2 or 1 maps, but just like in a new setting. and you can recycle some of the same assets. Like, you can recycle some of the same, like, look and feel, like, maybe if you want to remaster some of the maps, but, like, just put them in, like, new locations. Like, I don't necessarily need, like, an open world Left 4 Dead 3, like, you know, some of the old prototypes are, because that's just, like, not my thing. I just want the same, get from point A to point B chapter for, like, 4 or 5 chapters, get to the safe room, do a finale, do an exfil, you know, survivor quotes, you know, characters getting to know each other. I mean, if they really had to, like, make it, like, profitable, like a modern game, maybe some, like, occasional microtransaction skins, but I don't want to have it, like, where things are in a battle pass, because, like, fuck that at this point. Battle passes are dumb. Like, it was one thing when Fortnite was doing it, it was the only game doing it, but now with every game doing it, and sometimes the amount of hours you gotta put into it, it's like, I want to play the game and get everything out of it for the amount of effort I want to put into it. I don't want to have to put in more than my actual want of effort to get something, because I don't want to treat my game also like another job, because in my opinion, I'm treating YouTube basically like a second job for the amount of effort I'm trying to put into it to make it work, and I just don't need a game on top of that being like a third job. I just can't. Have you ever played other zombie shooter games? Examples are Resident Evil, Dying Light, Dead Rising. I also enjoy your content. I'm a new subscriber from the Left 4 Dead Iceberg 5K special. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. As for other games, yeah, hell yeah, dude. I played plenty of other games. I played both Dying Light 1 and 2. I've never played Dead Rising, but I have, I think, occasionally, like, played, like, a zombie game here or there. Like, I've played, the Walking Dead games by Telltale. I love those. Call of Duty Zombies, like, that's another example. I have played also occasionally, like, some random horror games, or, like, any game that you can think of that's had, like, a Halloween, like, spin-off zombie game mode. I played aplenty. What keeps you hooked on Left 4 Dead 2? Basically just the fan favorite characters, fan favorite maps, and the fan favorite special infected. I'm not really big on the guns. I'm not necessarily like really big on the game modes. But I love the distinct characters and the distinct maps and the distinct special infected. This game just has personality. And also you guys, because you guys keep me incentivized to keep coming back to this game. Because usually when I do get bored and want to, you know, take a break from it, I remember all the fun memories I make when I make videos for you guys, so it makes me want to be able to make more content for you. What is your favorite custom/vanilla campaign in Left 4 Dead? My favorite vanilla campaign probably is Dark Carnival. I just love that. I've always been a fan of like amusement parks like Six Flags and Cedar Point, so just the fact that it's a nighttime carnival and that finale where you're just, you know, playing to the Midnight Riders, because I'm a big fan of like rock and roll. I mean, dude, I literally have a electric guitar over here. I mean, it's, you know, got the high E string busted right now, but it's like, I love metal. I love metal. And the thing is with Dark Carnival, it's just like everything I like combined it into one. Like the roller coasters, the rock metal music, the nighttime atmosphere. Being one of the few, well, only few scary-ish maps in Left 4 Dead, I've always just liked that campaign. And then custom map wise, there's this creative one where it's like a remake of like, I think, Crash Bandicoot. That was a really creative one, but I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite, but that's definitely up there. One of the things I always remember liking a lot was Suicide Blitz 2. That was just a really solid ass campaign. I always said that could be like the next like Left 4 Dead fan map being imported to like be an official map on PC. I really like Suicide Blitz. That's a really good one. But that's just the two that come to mind. What sort of themes interest you when you're looking into new games or experiences? I always want to end up looking for games or experiences that are basically like superhero-like. I have always enjoyed a plot where there's a distinct good guy and a distinct bad guy, and the good guy has to overcome the bad guy. Even if sometimes, in a, you know, cool way of thinking about it, that the good guy is also the bad guy, and they have to overcome themselves. Whenever I play a video game, I always want to be like the guy that overcomes the odds, even if it's in like a certain type of setting. Like if it's a shooter game like Overwatch, or if it's a butterfly effect game like the Walking Dead games, or if it's a open world game like, let's say, Ghost of Tsushima, or if it's a survival game like Minecraft, there's always a goal of like, be the good guy, be the one that does the right decisions, and you have to work hard and make the tough choices, because not necessarily because you have to or you want to, but you should. And it's like, that's the games that always like bring me in, because like I always like a game with a good story. It's one thing when there's just like, you know, fun mechanics and all that, but the stories are typically what keeps me in these games. That's why Left 4 Dead works so much for me, is because I'm just always like interested in the characters. Like I really can't connect with a zombie shooter when I don't like the characters. Think about it this way. The reason why I like The Walking Dead so much is all about mostly the characters. Gameplay-wise, it's just an interactive movie. There's like no gameplay in The Walking Dead games, but I fucking love those games. Whereas if you get like, let's say, you know, Rainbow Six Extraction, like that's not necessarily a game that I'm connected to the characters in. I mean, sure, there is an audience for it, but I'm not even remotely interested in the characters and don't even remotely give a shit, and it shows, and that's why I have like less than like a few hours on that game. Experiences wise, I just want to do something that is just fun, because I get bored very easily. So it's like, I'll go to places like I was talking about earlier, like Cedar Point or Six Flags, just because I love the adrenaline rush. I'll like haunted houses during Halloween. I like going on vacation to amazing, beautiful places like New York and California, and hopefully one day Hawaii. I want to go to Japan one day, England one day. I want to go to Australia one day. Just travel, 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 travel. I'd like to meet new people, have new experiences, make new friends. Get to know everybody and their stories and their lives, because everyone's got a story and a life, and I want to hope that they'll listen to my story and my life. What year have you started playing Left 4 Dead 2 in, and do you play Left 4 Dead 1 too? I have played Left 4 Dead 1 2 mostly on Xbox, but barely on PC. I just never got around to going back to Left 4 Dead 1 by the time I moved on to PC, but I probably started playing Left 4 Dead 2 back in, like, I want to say like 2013, basically when I got my Xbox 360. I got my Xbox 360 at the end of the Xbox 360's life, and I played it up until like 2015, but those 3 years I went back and got all those classics, and Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 were two of those games. Would you rather be in the Left 4 Dead 1 crew or the Left 4 Dead 2 crew? I would say the Left 4 Dead 1 crew, because even though I like Ellis and Coach, I really don't think I could stand Nick or Rochelle, and the Left 4 Dead 1 crew I feel like has better survivability. What's one day in your life as a YouTuber? So the better of the days, because I'm gonna pick a certain day in particular, because I don't want to pick the days where I just go to work. So in an average day, if I don't have to go to my normal job, I would say that I wake up, I enjoy my breakfast, and I watch YouTube videos just to like get inspiration or just relax, like when I first wake up in the morning. And then after I get ready, I will either A, work out at the gym, or I will make a YouTube video. And then after that, I will end up coming back and I will play either video games or play on my guitar. And sometimes, if my friends are available, I will also hang out with my friends. If I had a little bit more free time in my work week, like if I didn't have to like work necessarily at my current job, I would use that free time to work on like live streaming, or maybe just like, you know, more into my existing hobbies. Maybe like, you know, make more YouTube videos, or maybe like work on more guitar or hang out with more friends, because I really would just rotate between the same few hobbies. I really don't think that I would do anything outside of that norm. Like, I don't think I would be like going anywhere crazy like Hawaii every day, or I don't think I would be going to like make like vlog content, if that's what you're asking. My life is relatively simple, and I'm completely content with that. It's mostly just the same few hobbies, just on loop indefinitely. It's like YouTube, video games, music, the gym, occasionally hanging out like at my friends' houses or a certain like venue, and then like basically that's it. Otherwise, it's just like work and chores, because that's like, you know, stuff I have to do to survive. But I'll just rotate those hobbies like on loop. I think I have a video on my main YouTube channel of the day in the life of me. But that was during COVID, and that was like not when I had to work, so that wouldn't match my current lifestyle. But that would be probably still what I would do had I not had my actual main job right now. I probably would just be doing the same shit I did back during COVID. But yeah, guys, that has been all the questions for the Q&A video, and I do truly hope you guys ended up enjoying it. If you did, please consider dropping a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and all the beautiful stuff. And if you guys ever want to see a particular video here on the second channel, you just let me know by leaving a comment down below. But yeah, guys, I hope you end up enjoying seeing another YouTube video from the most YouTubers are ever going to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I love all of you, and peace out.
Hey, meme lords. Jesus here. And you better have enjoyed that video there by the eternal god Daddy Ninja. You should probably subscribe too. Or the mighty Moab will come for your balls. If you enjoyed the video, you might like it too. And give me the memes. Flash, bang, boom!